Hey guys, it's Nate from 80/20 Marketing Guy. And in this video, I want to show you the 3 biggest mistakes I see other content creators making in their email marketing. But first, let's talk a little bit about why that matters. If you're putting things up on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, or if you're blogging, presumably you eventually want to attract people back to your website so that you can sell to them. And all of these mistakes are things that I see people doing a lot that are getting in the way of that. Now make no mistake, we want loving fans, we want to provide massive value, and then ask for the sale. But by running afoul of these 3 things, you're making it more difficult for your audience to love you, and you're making it more difficult for yourself to sell to them. So without further ado, here they are. The first is having too many calls to action, or CTAs. So this one should sound familiar to you guys, but here's what I've observed. Whether it's a blog post, a Facebook post, or a YouTube video, subscribe to my channel, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, like us on Instagram. You're giving people a ton of things to do, and there are 2 reasons why that's bad. The first is called choice paralysis. It just means that in psychological studies, the more choices people were given, the less likely they were to make a single choice. And we want to make it as easy as possible for them to get back to our website and subscribe to our email address. And the second reason it's bad is that you're treating traffic channels like landing pages. So if you think about it, at the beginning of this video, our goal is to get as many people on our mailing list as possible and get as many people who are on our mailing list to eventually buy our products. So if you think about your Instagram, your YouTube, your Facebook, your blog posts, these should all be spokes leading back to the hub of your website where you have your opt-in offer. And if you're asking people to join all of your sort of satellite platforms, it's tangential to the primary goal, which is getting them back to your website where they can get on your emailing list and you can sell to them. So luckily, this is an easy one to fix. In every piece of content you produce, include only one call to action at the end. And if you want to, earlier on in the content, give them one thing to do. And the best practice is to come back to a specific page on your website. More about that later. Okay, now on to the second mistake I see. Say people see an ad on Facebook, or they see a piece of content somewhere, and they actually do follow it back to your website. What I see there is often a confusing array of offers. So remember that the best practice is to get as many people who come back to your website to convert onto your mailing list as possible. To that end, most of the best email marketers offer a lead magnet, or something people get in exchange that will give them value for giving up their email address. But here's what I've observed instead. Offer blizzard. That means if you're on a blog post, the sidebar has offer after offer. And then maybe there's a lightbox pop-up with still another offer. To make matters worse, a lot of people's home pages are a mess. Rather than treat them as what they are, a tool to get people on your mailing list and off to an offer as soon as possible, people use them like vanity showcases. And again, they'll have up to 5 or 6 different calls to action and offers they're offering people when they land on their homepage. So here's what to do about it. Try to let everyone who lands on your website see only one offer. And that can be a different offer depending on what page people land on. For your blog posts, you can still have your sidebar offers and your pop-up. But for one blog post, all of those should be for the same offer. The second thing I'd recommend is subscribe to your own list, go through it, and try to remove all of the places where you're encountering friction. You can actually time how long it takes you from seeing a piece of your own content on the web to getting back to the homepage to email address forked over and content in your inbox. You should remove things like double opt-ins and confusing offers that are gumming up the process. Remember, the less time people spend, the more likely it is that you'll end up with their email address and they'll end up consuming your content and starting to get value from it. The third and final mistake I see is a more subtle one, and it happens deeper into your funnel, but it's not asking for the sale. Here's what I've observed. People get to the end of your welcome sequence, and there's kind of an ambiguous, one-size-fits-all, multiple choice email. Like, if you like this thing, go over here. Or if you're interested in that, we also have that to offer. Here are the 2 reasons that's bad. Number 1, it's back to choice paralysis. You're giving people too many things to focus on instead of making a suggestion. And number 2, you're doing what I call marketing friend zone. You're establishing yourself as somebody afraid to go for the sale. And who will that attract? Tire kickers. Now, I want to make sure I add a couple of caveats. First, when I talk about these multiple choice emails at the end of the sequence, I'm not talking about the more scientific Ryan Levesque style bucket segmenting, which should happen far earlier in your email sequence. Second, by saying you should go for the sale, I'm not saying that you shouldn't first give massive value to people in the jab, right hook sense of Gary Vaynerchuk, but you have to go for that right hook. So here's what you should actually do. Number one is make an offer. Joe, did you dig the feeling of finally being able to market that my free stuff's given you? That's just 1/100th the value of my paid products. If you're ready to learn more, click here. Here's the second thing. Make that offer repeatedly. Yeah, not everyone's going to take you up on it the first time you give it. So give them a couple weeks of nurture emails and then hit them up again. Finally, by the time people get to that point in your email sequence, you should be directing them toward only one offer. Think about the difference between everybody's trying to choose a restaurant to go out for dinner at, and you say, I don't know, where do you guys want to go? And you make a suggestion. I want to go to Peter Luger's. What do you guys think? That's what you're doing with your sales offer. And if there's any segmentation toward different products or offers, as I said, that should happen much earlier in your email sequence. And I definitely get into this with my consulting clients, but I'll get into it in greater depth in future videos too. So that's the end of the 3 biggest mistakes I see email marketers making on the web. To summarize again, the first is multiple calls to action. The second is confusing offers once people get to your website. And the third is not asking for the sale. So guys, now it's my turn. Hope you guys have gotten massive value from this email. But say you're new to email marketing. Where do you start? Do you need a website? What sort of CRM or email service should you subscribe to? And how do you make an offer that'll make people eager to give you their email address? Well, luckily, I just finished a free video course on the subject, and I want to give that to you. All you need to do is just click on the link on the screen and enter your email address on the next page. That's my free video course, How to Start Your List Without or With a CRM. Just click on the screen to get it now. Guys, hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll be back real soon with another. Nate for 80/20 Marketing Guy, we out.